In a world that's obsessed with spending money, the wealthiest do not waste it. They're not flashy, they don't try to keep up with others, and then somehow they have more money, more time, and more options than everybody else. If you think that fancy things means rich, wealthy people have other thoughts. The people that manage their wallets well are often the happiest. They've just outgrown the need for others to think they're rich. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, they don't care what other people think. These people know that most people are living life on autopilot, letting the world tell them where to go. These people know that it's better to be in the driver's seat at the wheel than going along for the ride. They know that there's a difference between being driven and being the driver. And because of that, they move differently. They don't wait for permission to build wealth. They don't need a round of applause to continue. Their validation comes from the work they put in, from the discipline they maintain for years while they're building, and from the quiet moments when they see the results. They're not chasing approval, they're chasing alignment. They trust their instincts more than the noise around them, and that's why they get to the goal. The second thing, they trade attention for clarity. The world is constantly trying to grab onto our minds and tell us what to think. The wealthy block out noise and they filter for signals. They know that few things truly matter because they're focused on making it. Any distractions are removed. They protect their focus, but they also learn and adapt extremely selectively. They know that the more their eyes drift away from the goal, the harder it is to achieve. They'd rather be totally focused and all in than interrupted. The third thing, they're not missing anything. They're just building brick by brick. We don't see people who make it financially out in the open too often. It's because they have a ton of quiet seasons. These are the times when they just sit down and do the work that needs doing. Sometimes that means staying out of the drama, getting up, and going to a job. Other times, it's getting back to the books. Whatever the situation, they're refining existing skills, getting new ones, studying what's working, what's not, and where their money needs to go. Their playbook is very simple. It's get the money, spend as little of it as possible, and invest it, whether it's back into themselves, their business, their careers, the markets, or some other hard asset. They're tracking every day, every dollar, and they're not telling anyone. They're just focused on the process. And the fourth thing, they're independent by choice. They're not antisocial. They're intentional about who has access to their energy and goals. They don't let random opinions influence their financial decisions. They think for themselves, they think long-term, act strategically, and surround themselves with very few people who genuinely help them grow. Their privacy is a boundary that protects their direction. And when they finally do show results, it feels like they appeared out of nowhere, like some overnight success. But they didn't. They were focused on the long game for years. You don't need to look wealthy to become wealthy. You don't need to be loud to have an impact. You don't need approval to build something meaningful. So go dark, build, and come back wealthy. Hi, I'm Raj. On this channel, we talk about money.